Right when you go live, you get the hiccups from your coffee, and you're like sitting here trying to choke them down before the camera starts. All right. Atmospheric River Weekend BC. I am Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude, and welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and help me out because I'm really trying to build a channel here that means something, right? So definitely weather is always big on the agenda. Sorry if I've been kind of quiet for a little while, but the thing is, I've been really busy with my life. I've been busy with the other projects. I've been busy with trying to get my firewood in, and I've been busy with poverty. So that's the thing too. You can also leave a tip here, buy me a coffee, right here on the YouTube channel, or you could go to my GoFundMe and support me there. In fact, if you give me a second, I'll put that link up in the comments. And trying to get by in life, and mostly trying to get my truck up and running. So thanks to had a donation yesterday, and I've managed to at least crawl myself back to zero. And putting a new brain in the truck is definitely on the agenda this week. It may not happen this week though because of poverty. But the thing is, I'm not here to talk about me so much as I'm here to talk about the weather. And we're going to get to that in 1 second. Yeah, last night I spent 4 hours on a Zoom call with Seafood John Kaufman over in Hong Kong, talking Wing Chun Kung Fu. And I'm on fire about that. I feel like I should be making those videos right now, but instead of talking weather, but I'm like, I don't talk about weather right now, that I'm never going to get to it because I'm going to get into that subject and I'm just going to be like, woo, Kung Fu. But hey, if you live anywhere near Wells and you want to come and find out what Kung Fu's about, talk to me. I'm looking for, and especially if you're not an athlete or somebody with lots of martial arts background, I'm not really looking for, but hey, I'll touch hands with anybody. And I don't care if you're a boxer and you want to find out what Wing Chun's about, come on over, man. Talk to me. And I'd love to train with you, work with you, and exchange what I do and maybe help you see some of your openings that you can learn to counter and close within your boxing system, things like that. So, anyways, what I do want to do here in a second is start talking weather because that's the whole point of the show. And now that I'm set up to do so, all right, Atmospheric River Week in British Columbia. Yeah, it's coming. Here's today's jet stream map. And of course, that's sort of good until tomorrow at some point. Next 24 hours, this jet stream map. So as you see here, we got a good strong current, upper level current in northern BC right now. So things are a little warmer in southern British Columbia, and there's even, you can see with this, and we'll look at temperatures in a bit, but you can see it's above zero. Anything that's not blue is above zero. Alberta warming up, getting some shock in there, and lots of snow going on in BC. We just had a pretty good dump last night. Driving home from Quesnel was nasty. The freezing rain that I thought we might be getting didn't show up, so that was really nice because freezing rain's awful. Look over here in eastern Canada, and you see just how strong these upper level winds are, and you know that there's going to be some snowstorm stories in the East Coast. That's what that setup looks like to me. Absolutely. So yeah, British Columbia right now, public weather alerts for Canada. We got some different things going on. Here's a statement for the Caribou and many other places that is worth reading right now. Special weather statements in effect for Caribou North, including Quesnel. Heavy snow expected. This can be extended to Caribou, North Columbia, North Thompson, West Columbia, Shuswap, Trans-Canada Highway, Eagle Pass to Rogers Pass tonight through Tuesday. We could see 10 to 15 centimeters of snow with near zero visibilities. So this intense Pacific frontal system will move across British Columbia interior tonight through Tuesday. Light snow from the system will intensify tonight and persist through Tuesday. The snow is expected to taper off to a few flurries and move as the evening moves south. But this isn't the whole story this week. This is just a part of what's coming. Freezing rain possible for inland valley locations around Terrace and portions of Highway 16. Slippery surface due to ice buildup and the possibility of tree limbs breaking off. So you could lose power there, is what would happen if that's the case. Storm system crossing BC coast will bring precipitation to the region today, with the cold sub-zero air mass residing in many inland valleys. Freezing rain is forecast through the day. Some degree of warming is expected through the afternoon. We may see freezing rain transition to just rain. However, the timing of this change remains uncertain. It's possible the threat of freezing rain carries into the evening before coming to an end. Where is the warmest place in Canada right now? It's Langara Island, British Columbia. Up in Eureka, Nunavut, the most northern weather station in Canada. Once again, they have the absolute pleasure of reporting a temperature that boggles the mind, minus 43 degrees Celsius in Eureka today. Pleasant. Surprisingly, the coldest place in BC is far south. In fact, as far southeast as you can go to Sparwood Airport, minus 10 there right now. So right on Sparwood. It's pleasant here in Wells. In fact, let's just have a quick look at what the Weather Network says for here in Wells. Of course, Wells, we're 4,000 feet above sea level. We're 80 kilometers east of Quesnel in the Cariboo Mountains. So we get much different snow than everybody else. It seems to me that Quesnel actually got more snow than we did last night. So it's a bit of a slow start to our season in Wells, but you know we get often 30 feet more. So 5 to 10 centimeters forecast here on Tuesday, and they've backed off a little bit. So we see snow still possible Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But the totals today, yesterday, where we see 1 to 3 centimeters and whatnot, those totals yesterday were 10, 15 centimeters. So some modeling has changed and some expectations have changed. In fact, that's happened several times this last little while because if you recall, like last meteorological report, if you watch that, we were saying Wednesday looked to be the big day in BC. We see temperatures are going to be dropping here again. So we're going to get on that north side of the jet stream here in Wells. And next week to start December, we're not going to see temperatures above zero, really. No, we're not. So this is a bit of the change in the forecast. Nonetheless, we still have that atmospheric system sort of running through in the meantime. 1 second here. Bad cough, sorry. A newly developed frontal wave will crash into the Panhandle and North Coast this morning. Northwest coastal ranges and northwest coastal inland will see strong winds accompanied by rain over valleys and snow over alpine and ridge tops. This system will slide down the coast tonight and will spread precipitation to sea to sky on South Tuesday morning. As this system finally pushes out, the ridge accumulating snow and strong southerly winds will begin from Mackenzie down to Kootenay Pass Tuesday till Tuesday night. On Wednesday, a deep upper low will track toward the province. Current guidance suggests it will traverse towards the coast mountains near the north coast. However, confidence remains medium due to some diverging solutions. We will keep a close eye on this system. Presently displays its high precipitation and strong winds, particularly looking towards Stewart and Terrace. Have a quick look here. So here's sort of our atmospheric river system. When we go to windy in a little bit, we'll look even closer. And we're going to work our way through this. Let's slide down the coast. And you see this next big system here, way off in the Pacific still. But it looks like that was the one I was expecting would hit us on Wednesday possibly or something like that, or Thursday. But it seems to me now like it wants to track southward more, which is what it is. No, I'm wrong. Direct hit. Now, why is that forecast not big precipitation for Wells? Coast Mountains seem to be really stalling it. Here we are Tuesday at 4 in the afternoon. Pushing into southern BC, and yes, and then moving into Washington State. So it does take that southerly track, but it kind of whoops up and then slides down after, and it kind of spares the BC interior the amount of snow that we thought we'd be getting. And then we have this long stream of atmospheric river again. Okay, where am I? Let's get out of here. Let's go to Windy and see the actual thing. By the way, here's current fundraiser. Someone donated $100 yesterday. Thank you very much. Support Joey Only, Interior Weather Wilderness Watchers. I've been doing all this for free for a very long time. And there's 15,000 followers on the Facebook group. So that's tremendous success. We've done a lot of things that have really made a difference. You know, we've warned people about, you know, catastrophic situations, fires and floods and landslides. And, you know, we'll never know how many lives we've saved with this group and this channel by helping people get more aware of what's going on in the BC interior. Because as you know, there really isn't much for television coverage and for forecast coverage from anybody who stands and talks to a camera. If you want to find BC weather news, generally you got to go look for it yourself. And so here's Support Joey Only. And did I put that in here? Yes, I did. So it's there in the comments. If you want to, if everyone just put $5 in or $2, man, I could do this full time and make it my job. That would be awesome. And then it would really get good. So here we are Monday. See that snow? Northern BC getting a good taste of it. Coast, mountains, terrace. There's all that precipitation we've been expecting. It's trying to work its way down into the Caribou. We see these, what now looks to be 3 different systems, but they basically the precipitation trails into one, and they all aim at the west coast. Tuesday, 8 a.m. Sloppy drive to work tomorrow morning, everybody. Sloppy drive. Rocky Mountains getting a fair bit. So even though I'm not forecast for a whole lot right here in Wells, you see some of these pulses, the mountains here are going to get it good. So Tuesday afternoon, big pulse through the Caribou Mountains you saw there. Revelstoke getting extra thick there. And that sets us up for Wednesday, 2 a.m. Looking pretty clear in the interior, except for that Quesnel, Williams Lake, Prince George stretch of 93 here in Wells. Then, you know, McBride's going to start getting it. And then we see that next low I was talking about. And it's got that trail of moisture in behind. This is your atmospheric rivers. However, maybe not so insane looking as ones we've seen at times, but that's that Pineapple Express basically. There's Hawaii, and that precipitation is going to be coming straight up from there. And you see, wow, look at Wednesday. We thought Wednesday was going to be a big day in BC. Well, it's going to be for some of you. Look at that in Terrace, all along the BC coast. That's crazy rain, crazy precipitation. Thursday, start your day off with some pretty nasty conditions there all along in Burns Lake, north and west. And that starts to slide in Tuesday. You see top of Vancouver Island, 23 millimeters an hour. Or is that over 3 hours? 3 hours. Still. So you're looking at near 10 millimeters an hour in some places. So, okay, that's heavy rain. Look at that sliding down. Tofino, Ucluelet, going to get a good pulse of that. Coast mountains, mega dump of snow up in those big mountains. Some of those places we just seen that snow pulse go through. That's like Mount Waddington. Some of those huge, huge mountains. Waddington's one of the biggest mountains in BC. It's up there. If you ever climb a mountain in Vancouver Island that looks that direction, you can see. I've seen it myself. You know, little peaks and then Mount Waddington. Woof, it's huge. Friday, snow moving through southern BC. So that's going to give you a bit of an idea of what to expect. Maybe not as much snow as we were, you know, saying just a number of days ago, and it's not because that precipitation isn't there. It's just a matter of where is it landing, and it's not landing uh, as much in the BC interior as was maybe originally thought it would. That's a pretty nice deep low though, 980 millibars Saturday. But now we're looking a week ahead, so the certainty of a forecast once we're looking a week ahead, you got to take it with a grain of salt. 4 days, forecast is pretty good. 4 days, 5, 6, 7 days, your certainty starts to back down a little bit. It's not like I said, we just saw here, the precipitation is happening. It's just, well, who exactly gets what? That's really hard to forecast a week in advance, right? And then you feel bad for the weather guys because they have to have something to say. So let's have a quick look at new snow over the next 3 days. And yeah, Coast Mountains, lots. Caribou Mountains, Columbia's, significant. North Rockies, significant. Some Central Rockies, significant. Next 24 hours, not a lot. But if you look outside, you see just that there's like that flat color in the sky right now. It's just gray. Stratus. Well, 5 days, now we're looking at, wow, some significant snow. 153 centimeters on the BC side. Well, those are high mountains. Like, no one lives in those mountains there. But that's extreme. Yep. But there's places next 5 days. Okay. 114 if you go a little south down towards where Waddington is, somewhere around here. About a meter there for the Waddington area. And then even some of those coast mountains, not too far from Whistler, 140 centimeters. That's some pretty crazy snow. Pretty crazy snow. Some of the mountains, coast. Okay, look at that, Caribou Mountains here. I mean, that's basically my back door. So you look at well, here's about where Wells is, where my hand is here. So Wells, we can expect 40 centimeters. That's all, just 40 centimeters. 56 in the high mountains. Ooh, the snowmobilers are going to be like, woo! Of course, we might see some of that snow be a little bit unstable until it settles. So be careful in the steep country. Avalanche risks are pretty high early in the season when significant snow falls on top of we got a pack that's already here and it's already kind of crusted up in some places. It's not a significant snowpack. You got a fresh layer of 2 feet on top of that. There's a real good chance in steep country that's going to slide, right? Especially as temperatures fluctuate up and down. A little bit of water moves through here and there. Eventually, that will firm up. So, just don't go run into the craziest terrain right away, right? Use your brain because people die every year in avalanches. And it's like, all the wilderness guys are sitting there telling you about how scary bears are and how, I was made my rebuttal this week to that YouTube video. Most ferocious animal in the world, the Wolverine. I'm like, come on. You're like, you don't know. Where do you live? Like New York or something? Like, yeah, Wolverines are tough. But I mean, do Wolverines kill you? No. Well, they might find your body in an avalanche zone because that's what they do. They stalk around these avalanche zones and they look for stupid things to get killed in avalanches. And then they run over there and dig them up like a boss. And they don't care how frozen solid they are because they got teeth that can basically chew through this table beneath me. Over the next 10 days, yeah, lots of big snow in BC. So that's the story that way. The thing is, temperature is going to be the story. It looks like more and more next week. Total snowpacks. Look at this. There's some big snow right there. Well, you know why that is, though. Why is there more than 5 meters of snow right there? Anyone know? Because that's the ice fields. So, of course, some of these ice fields are gonna. You look at these maps and you're like, wow, 462 centimeters. And you look up here and I mean, some of that is fresh snow. More than 5 meters. How much snow is? How much? There's probably permanent snow So when you're looking at the BC maps compared to, say, you look at these other maps and you see like who's got snow in Canada. For the most part, nobody. A little bit in Newfoundland there, it looks like. Central Quebec, yeah, northern Manitoba, yeah, up into the territories, okay. But I mean, really, like snow hasn't been significant yet this year, and I think we're missing a real rapid pulse of it. But snowpack right now, I mean, yeah, there's some places not too far from Quesnel with 20 centimeters. Here in Wells, what are we at? We're probably at one of the big mountains, the mountain tops, 50 centimeters. That's probably not the case here in the valley, where we definitely don't have that much. We're probably more in the 20. So I mean, take these maps with a grain of salt, but more or less they give you a pretty good idea of good temperature because no, look at this up here, right? This is Canada. A lot of Canada is very cold. Not much for anyone living there. And I'm not going to waste a lot of time looking at this week because, well, we know that we got a bit of a warm up this week. Weird noise outside. So there we see Monday, 10 a.m. You see some pretty cool temperatures in northern BC, Prince George minus 21. So that's kind of the temperature story for next week. We're going to get some high pressure again. And it's luckily the real high pressure's up substantially up north, and it's just sort of spilling down. And you can kind of gather where our jet stream might be moving through at that time. So cold temperatures next week is the new expectation. And I'm not stoked on that. I'd rather it stay warm and snowing, honestly. Minus 20, 6 a.m. next Tuesday. No, I'm not cool with that. Big snow. I mean, that's what I love about Wells is when it's snowing and snowing and snowing. When we have winters where there's 40 feet of measured precipitation here in the Barkerville station, uh, those are the warmest winters, man. You know, that's when the temperature's hovering, one below 1, 0, -5, -6, -8, snowing, 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 doesn't stop. Not like heavy snow like Buffalo, New York just got, where it got 77, 80 inches of snow in places like that. That lake effect snow just rolling off Lake Erie and straight on to Buffalo. About 20 kilometers away, the moisture just going and coming up and sucking up into the air and then dropping almost immediately on Buffalo in this like conveyor belt of snow. So luckily we don't get that. We just get this like consistent snowing. It just keeps snowing and snowing and snowing. So with any luck, we're going to get some of that snow. I know Troll Ski Resort's looking to open second week of December. They got snow there already, but more is welcome, definitely. And I guess a cold snap's better than a warm snap because at least that snow will stay. So all you winter enthusiasts, I'm just, cautioning you once again to please don't go on steep country when we get some of this big snow over the next week. And let that snowpack settle and firm up and be safe. If you don't know much about avalanches, maybe don't go in those places. If you don't have transponder beacons, you're not prepared to face death. It ain't the Wolverine walking around killing you. It ain't the grizzly bear that's going to kill you. 10 people die from avalanches on average every year in British Columbia. Some years more, right? And people freeze to death every year. People die from the elements in the bush, right? And if a grizzly bear kills someone every 1, 3, 4, 5 years, the word goes hundreds of people have died in the bush in the meantime. They've been drowning and freezing and having trees fall on them and dying in avalanches because they're playing on their snowmobiles or they're skiing in places that aren't safe. And I'm not trying to talk down on people I've known who died in avalanches, but they knew better, some of them, and they died anyways in an avalanche. So, you think it's just sometimes the yahoos that don't know, and sometimes it's the people who know. And the more you think you know, the more safe you think you are, the more prepared you think you are, and then you realize when the time happens that you weren't prepared at all. So I'm Joey Olney, the Caribou Weather Dude. That's just a kind of a look at the weather over the next week. A little bit warmer this week. Some snow moving through, not as much making over the coast mountains as we originally forecast, but snow still coming through. Special weather statements are in effect all up and down through Revelstoke and into Blue River and over to the Caribous. And so, 10, 15 centimeters in a lot of places, probably more in others. I'm sure we're going to see significantly more than that in Wells. Please subscribe to the channel. Help the GoFundMe if you can. There's Patreon as well. You can find me on Patreon. I've got 2 patrons right now. Thank you very much to Alexa, and thank you very much to Kevin for, it's only $5 a month they're throwing in, but it's a huge vote of confidence that people are trying to support my larger projects, which are varied and bizarre. It's like some of my stuff is comedy. Then there's a radio show we make every week with Frankie McDonald, the world famous weatherman, and radio personality Brandon Houck, and our gang of meteorologists. Comedy plus meteorology equals meteorology. It airs in Prince George on C for 88.7 every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and it re-airs at 4 p.m. I believe still on Tuesdays. So if you miss the show, I mean the weather stories are kind of a week behind, but we're funny nonetheless. And of course, that I'm still trying to build my ideal world of Wing Chun Kung Fu, and I want to do something here about that. Stay tuned over the next, over the years and find out exactly what crazy things Joey Olney gets up to here because, more or less, I just felt as I just wanted to document my life and I wanted to be helpful if I could. So I've been doing that, and maybe if anything bad ever happened to me, my children would have this YouTube channel. They'd look at it and be like, "That was Joey Olney. Like he did some pretty crazy shit. That guy was a lunatic. He was a real mountain man. He climbed mountains and he fought animals and he learned kung fu and fought forest fires and I like being me. I'm enjoying hitting this part of my life where I'm sober and proud of myself and I'm not struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. And I feel like I have lots to give the world still. And I'm a happy man here in Wells, British Columbia. I think that's all for this week, everybody. We'll, with any luck, we'll be talking to you real soon. Now, I'm just going to stop the share. Stop the share. So that I can look at you in the eyes and say, bye now.